So, picture this. It's the year 2089. The world is a very different place, but it's not the kind of dystopia filled with crumbling buildings or marauding robots that science fiction has warned us about for decades. No, this future is clean, calculated, and hyper-aware. Here's the thing. Humanity has reached what many call the era of hyper-consciousness. Thanks to advanced AI and the ever-expanding reach of social media, people have turned their focus inward. And when I say inward, I mean deeply inward. Every thought, every tiny flicker of emotion, even the neurons firing in your brain, everything is tracked and analyzed. Imagine living with an AI assistant in your head that's constantly showing you your own personal soul map. And yeah, this isn't just a metaphor. I'm talking about a literal visual map that shows your moral leanings, your biases, your emotional patterns, and of course, your spiritual shortcomings. This all sounds kind of terrifying, right? But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Because people are so aware of their inner workings, they've developed this deep sense of guilt, this almost obsessive need to fix themselves, even for the smallest of flaws. In this world, committing a major sin, almost unheard of, but not because people are inherently better or more virtuous. It's because society has become its own watchful guardian, ruthlessly policing any deviations from the collective idea of perfection. But here's the kicker, this constant self-policing, it's not enough. People are still unsatisfied. There's this gnawing, hollow feeling, this unshakable sense that no matter how clean their record looks, something deeper is missing. And that brings us to the star of today's episode, an advanced AI technology called the simulation of shadows. Pause for effect. Now, let me set the stage here, because this isn't just your typical self-help app or some wearable that tracks your steps and reminds you to drink water. The simulation of shadows is revolutionary. It promises something bigger, something profound. It claims it can purify your soul. How does it do that? Well, here's the wild part. The simulation immerses you in a hyper-realistic, AI-generated world that's custom-built for you. It's not a game. It's not VR escapism. It's a test. A deeply personal and honestly, deeply uncomfortable test. The system digs into your neural patterns, your desires, your suppressed impulses, and creates a world designed to confront you with your darkest, most ego-driven self. Your nafs. For those unfamiliar with the term, nafs comes from Sufi teachings. It represents the base self, the ego, the part of us driven by material desires and selfish impulses. And in the simulation, you're not just aware of these impulses, you're forced to live them. It's like being handed a mirror, but instead of reflecting your best self, it shows you the parts of you that you've spent your entire life running from. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does this even work? How can an AI do something so spiritual? And that's where it gets really interesting. The experience is visceral, it's terrifying, it's intimate. And it draws heavily from the trials faced by ancient Sufi mystics, the ones who would isolate themselves in deserts or mountains to conquer their inner demons. Except here, the desert is digital. The mountain is a neural construct. And the mystic? Well, that's you. Or at least it's supposed to be.